welcome back to our channel, and welcome if you're new here. Taylor Parnell, and today's training video is going to be all about e-collar reliability with duration, distraction, and distance. So if you're excited for today's video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel down below. It really does support us. And of course, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video with us. Let's get into today's video. In order for our dogs to be reliable, we have to train them in 3 circumstances, which is so important for you to have a highly trained dog. Duration, distraction, and distance is all the things we're going to cover in today's video, so that you and your dog can have highly trained experience. And of course, we're going to give you those steps and tools to better understand how to implement them. Let's talk about duration. Now, duration is something that a lot of people believe it's really hard to accomplish. Let's simply talk about, stay for your dog. When you tell your dog stay, it's all about that duration of how long the dog is going to actually listen to you and stay in their seated position or their laying down position. And this is something that, it comes with patience and working slowly to achieve that goal. I think sometimes we're so expecting the dogs to just understand right away, and that's really where we get the confusion as to how we're going to give our dogs more of that freedom and understanding that communication. So I think it's really important, just giving you guys an example, when you start working with duration, you want to start with something small. You want to give your dogs those cues as to when you're going to free them from that actual command. So just for example, if we put our dog in maybe a sit position, right? And we are telling them stay. Now that's really important to be able to say, like, let's start with 5-second duration, okay? Keep the dog there for 5 seconds and give them that cue of free or okay or release or whatever that cue is for your dog to be able to be released from the command. So that's something that, again, you guys, when you're starting to work that out, there's a few things that you can do to correct your dog, because some dogs are not going to get it right away. I mean, most of them won't. So I want you guys to understand, when you have your dog in that seated position and they do move after you have that command, I want you to understand that it's either you're going to use your tools like a leash to correct them and put them back in that position. Remember, it's important to catch it right away. The second your dog is stepping out of that sit, you need to say no or correct him right in that second. And if you're using an e-collar, that's going to be a great way to actually correct them. You can use the tapping or the vibration sensation to be able to tell your dog no and put them back in that command. Now again, as you're going to be working through it and giving your dogs more duration, right? You're going to move to 10 seconds, then 30 seconds, couple minutes. All of those things are going to give you different cues. So when you start stepping into those, few minutes here, more challenges, right? Because when you're working in a place with less stimulation and over, environmental things going on, your dog is going to be more distracted to what's going on. So obviously I recommend in all of our training videos to start somewhere small. Start in your house, start in your yard, start somewhere that is less distracted. As you're going to open the environment, right, you're going to bring more distractions, you're going to bring more duration, and you're going to see that your dog is going to start to connect the command and also what you're asking from them. So you guys, with this specific one, as far as duration goes, I want you to be very patient about it and make those few steps forward with your dog. If you have a challenge that arises when you're training, that's no problem. Take a few steps back and start from ground zero. Because again, what our purpose here is to teach the dog, if I ask you to sit and stay, you should sit and stay. No matter what the duration is, you're going to stay there. We're not going to put the dog in sit and stay and give them 10 minutes and expect them to stay, right? There's also a way that you guys can use something where, if you're not going to use a leash, you can use a treat to bring them back into that, or you can also use something as far as a tie down. So there is a few options. Of course, if you guys have questions about that, you can comment down below, but let's go ahead and get into distraction. So you guys, let's talk about distraction here. We all love our dogs, but sometimes, when someone comes to the door and rings that doorbell, we actually get, maybe frustrated, or, we don't want our dogs to do some of those annoying things where they run at the door, bark at the people, jump on the people, or just simply get excited when they hear the doorbell sound. So I think using distraction in this, experience or situation is really important, because when you're going to start working with your dog in your house in these moments, it's a great way for you to really understand and to give them those tools to really comprehend what you're asking from them and those commands that you're using. So if I were you guys, I would use this distraction as a great training method. I think it's something that when your friends come over or a family member comes, you can simply use your dog to have them sit and stay where you want them to be, right? Have a family member or friend come, ring that doorbell, and give them that command of what you're asking, whether it's stay or place or whatever that is. And through the moment, you're gonna see it's the same as the duration. You're going to have them open that door and come in, and you want your dog to stay in that same place. So I think it's super important to catch it on the right time, and you're gonna see me repeating a lot of these through these three kind of components, because it's really the same method and the same tool amongst each other. So when you're telling your dog to stay, and if they move, you can use a leash to correct them. You can use a treat to correct them if you want, to lure them back into place and to reward them when they're staying. So you guys, we're really just trying to help our dogs better understand what we're trying to communicate them and give them those different levels of challenges. So especially when we're working with distraction, it's going to be something that you want to be very repetitive with. You're going to need that family member or friend to come, ring that doorbell and come in and out many, many times before the real situation happens. Because really, when we're in these moments, we're just trying to teach them to better understand what we're trying to get in that scenario. And the more that we're going to give them those distractions, you're going to see the more they're going to have that attention on you, because it's really important that they know that this is where, this is where their attention should be, and the distractions are something that they don't need to pay attention to. But remember, like I talked about in our last few videos, you want to also reward your dog for the scenario. Your dog sometimes wants to have that excitement and fun, and I think, through these challenges that we're going to give them, you should also release them in those moments too. So this is distraction. I want to get into the last variable for you guys so you can really understand exactly what we're going to do as far as distance, and then you'll have a better challenge of a highly trained dog. So last but not least, let's talk about distance. Now, we want to make sure that we're giving our dogs an anchor, right? So this is something that, again, through experience, through making sure to repeat the training, to give them those different challenges and to, help communicate, we just need to make sure that through distance, we start somewhere small. As you can see, like I said before, a lot of this is repetitive, but when we start somewhere small and slowly, gradually add more distance, our dog's gonna understand that no matter how far we are from them, if we give them a command and ask them something, that they're gonna listen and, stay with it. So I think in this moment, exactly like I've said before, when you tell your dog sit and stay, gradually add that distance from your dog, okay? Give them that reward. Make sure, it's very important you reward them when they listen, right? And as you start to level up those challenges, if it becomes difficult, that's okay. That's no problem. That means that you've, reached their threshold, and this is really where you need to work on it. So when you're talking about distance, right? Make sure you put your dog in that situation, have them sit and stay. Add that distance from them and reward them if they listen. If they don't, again, you can use your e-collar for a tapping sensation or the vibrate to say, no, this is not what I'm asking, correct them. And then again, reward them if they listen. You can add that distance from them slowly but surely. And remember, when you're adding this distance, if you have a lot of distractions there, it's gonna be harder to get it through to the dog. So I want you guys to remember, start with these tools and these steps, right? Everybody's getting excited. Start with these tools and these steps to be able to say, okay, as I put my dog here, I'm gonna move a few meters or a few feet away from them. And as they're starting to listen, reward and add more distance. And your dog is gonna be looking to you for those cues. And when your dog really understands what you're asking, what commands you want, all of those things, then I want you to add those distractions. And slowly, as you move forward, you're gonna really see not only the communication is gonna get better, but also on top of that, your dog's gonna really understand. And as you can see, duration, distance, and distraction are all in one thing. And you've noticed that through this entire video, I've been saying, correct your dog, start with small steps, And of course, like I always say, you guys, be patient, reward them. Remember, when your dog is not listening, that's just showing you that they have a challenge, and that's okay. Yeah, I know, the golden retrievers, you know how they love their attention, right? And like I said, it's okay if, you guys find a place that they're not really listening, or you're getting struggles, or having that, maybe a little bit of frustration. That's no problem. I just want you guys to know that every dog is different. Every scenario is different. And if you need to take your dog back to the basics, that's totally fine. But also remember, as you're making those steps forward and you're seeing them progress, be excited, reward them. Make your training sessions short. Don't overwhelm them, but make sure you do it through play and fun and really kind of get them. When we put these collars on our dogs, they are so excited because they don't know, are we going for an adventure? Are we playing? Are we training? And they really love that extra stimulation in their brain. And I truly believe, like you guys know, it really makes them smarter. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. And I really want to make sure, like usual, that it gives you the tools. Remember, we are here to serve you guys. We want to make this community big and worldwide so that we can really train our dogs and have better communication with one another. So thank you so much for tuning in. And again, welcome if you're new here. We have new training videos every single week, and of course, videos about our amazing products that we love to deliver to you guys. So thank you again. Have an incredible day, and we'll look forward to seeing you all on our next video. Bye, everybody.